This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 30th day of July in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. As the electoral fraud trial entered its second day today, State Prosecutor Darshan Ramdani clashed with Defense Attorney Husey Anderson at the Georgia Magistrates Court over repeated objections by the defense and the move by the court to bar the mention of at least one agent of the APNU-AFC who was not a party to the court matter. The issues arose as Minister of Local Government Sonia Parag took the witness box for a second day, detailing a series of events that unfolded between polling day and the final day of declarations of the election results. Parag was a candidate in the elections. Testifying before the City Magistrate Lerone Daly, Minister Parag told the court that on the 5th of March 2020, the then Region 4 returning officer Clement Mingo indicated to party agents and observers present at the GCOM Command Center that he was about to declare the results of the votes cast in District 4 for the various political parties. Parag said at the time the tabulation of the statements of poll for the district was far from completed. According to her, everyone in the room objected, except for Member of Parliament Voda Lawrence and James Bond, both of whom were agents of the APNU-AFC. According to her, the two were silent on the issue. But Magistrate Daly questioned the relevance, explaining while Lawrence is among the defendants, James Bond is not mentioned in the proceedings. Anderson also registered his objections to the mention of Bond, and the court eventually ruled, barring the witness from mentioning or implicating Mr. Bond as among those who allegedly conspired to commit fraud. But that decision did not sit well with the prosecutor, who made his concerns known in and outside of the courtroom.
Today the witness attempted to call a name of a person and to say, well, that person was sitting next to one of the defendants. And in attempting to name the witness, the court ruled that you could not name the witness. And the witness's name was contained in the statement given to the police. I do not know if you're startled, but I am completely startled. This happens every day in our courts of law. Eyewitnesses to crime turn up in court every day, and they say who was running from the scene, who was standing at the scene, who was saying what. This happens every day. And we are now being told that the witness who is standing in the box cannot say from who she saw present, who was saying what, who was sitting where. Now, this is startling to me.
Ramdani also took umbrage to the series of objections and requests for clarifications by the defense during Parag's testimony. It was repeatedly pointed out by the defense and confirmed by the magistrate that portions of the evidence provided by Parag were not included in her witness statement. But Ramdani told the court that Parag was merely fleshing out what was detailed in her witness statement, and there was no need for the defense to verify whether or not it was included in her witness statement. He accused the defense of deliberately trying to drag out the case.
What is happening, this continuous standing up unnecessarily, is continuing to prolong this matter. We could have completed this witness already. We had 4 witnesses yesterday lined up. We had 4 separate witnesses today lined up. And we are still just in the evidence in chief of 1 witness. Now, you persons are sitting in court and you're seeing what is going on.
The prosecutor said he intends to ask the court to reconsider some of its rulings.
I will continue to press the court that this evidence is relevant. This evidence should be admitted and we should be allowed to present this case. This is where we are.
Are you concerned that because of the objections and the request for omission of certain words and terms, the evidence will be watered down?
I am very concerned that if a witness is not allowed to say who she saw present, when she has put that name in the statement given to the police, when this witness is not permitted to say, when she said witnesses are objecting, and to say what words are being used in objection, I'm concerned.
But Defense Attorney Husey Anderson told reporters that it is an issue of fairness, and Parag should not be allowed to stray far beyond the statement made in her disclosure to the court.
What we have found is a lot of what is contained in the disclosed statements to us is not what the witness is referring to in her evidence in the witness box. And that continues to be an issue. It continues to be an issue of fairness. It continues to be an issue of ambush. and we're deeply concerned about how that will affect the integrity of these proceedings going forward. That being said, we are confident that the court continues to do its very best to mitigate those risks and balance the situation as much as possible.
Alluding to the issue involving Bond, Anderson reminded that Bond is neither a defendant or witness, and his name should not be mentioned or brought into disrepute.
Mr. Bond's name was mentioned, and we are concerned that there is the ad hoc references to people's names who are not named in these proceedings and who have no recourse to any kind of redress should their names appear in an adverse manner in these proceedings. So for that reason, we formed a view, and we were objecting vociferously about it, that the reference to Mr. Bond's name should not form part of the record.
Anderson said he is satisfied that the court continues to hold a very firm and stable hand on the proceedings, and the defense is confident in the court's ability to discharge its duty. Meanwhile, Perak in her testimony indicated that there were two separate declarations made by the returning officer on the 5th of March and on the 13th of March, which resulted in fierce objections by party agents and observers, except for those in the APNU-AFC camp, on the grounds that the results were incorrect and largely favored the APNU-AFC. The defendants in the matter are Keith Lowenfield, Roxanne Myers, and Clement Mingo, along with Member of Parliament Volda Lawrence, PNC Reform Member Carol Smith-Joseph, and Election Officer, chauffeur in February, Enrique Leven, Denise Bob Cummings, and Michelle Miller. They are facing 19 conspiracy charges related to an attempt to declare fraudulent results during the course of the last elections. While on the cross-examination today by attorney UC Anderson, Perak told the court that at no time did she see the 9 defendants together. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, oh, welcome to Building Expo. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh.
As fierce protests continue in neighboring Venezuela following Sunday's disputed elections, the government of Guyana today called for a transparent process of verification of the elections results in Venezuela. The incumbent President Nicolas Maduro has been declared the winner of the elections, but the opposition has strongly objected, pointing out that their candidate pulled in the majority of the votes. Both President Maduro and opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez have claimed victory, with Gonzalez announcing that his campaign has the proof that it needs to show that he won Sunday's elections and not Maduro. In its statement today, the government of Guyana said elections are about people exercising their constitutional right to elect a government of their choice in a free, fair, and transparent manner. The government of Guyana said it behoves all to ensure the integrity of that process through the highest standards of accountability, transparency, and strict adherence to the rule of law, including the rules governing elections to guarantee the will of the people. The statement added that Guyana supports the call for a transparent process of verification of the will of the Venezuelan people as exercised on Sunday, noting that the people of Venezuela deserve nothing less. The statement by Guyana has broken ranks with statements issued by Dominica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which have both extended congratulations to Mr. Nicolas Maduro. The Caribbean Court of Justice today began hearing an appeal case filed by the government of Guyana through the Attorney General over the local court's quashing of the appointments of two PPP candidates in the last elections as parliamentary secretaries. Through their attorneys led by Senior Counsel Douglas Mendez, the government and the two candidates, Sarah Brown and Vikash Ramkisoon, are arguing that the Guyana Court of Appeal was wrong to throw them out from the National Assembly for being unlawful members, since their names, while on their party's list, were not among the 33 names extracted to take up seats in the National Assembly. Brown and Ramkisoon's contention is that they had been duly sworn in pursuant to Article 186.3 as non-voting members, since at the time of their appointments they were not already elected members of the Assembly. The Guyana Court of Appeal had ruled that since their names were on the party list but not among the 33 extracted to take up seats in the Assembly, they could not qualify as being non-voting members of the National Assembly as parliamentary secretaries. Their attorney argued that both Brown and Ramkisoon are deemed to be members of Parliament, but not for voting purposes. Neither do they enjoy the perks of being a member of Parliament. The attorney submitted to the court today that the fact that they were both on the list meant that they fit the criteria to sit in the House, albeit as parliamentary secretaries. He also submitted to the court that all members on the list of candidates are elected members, even before their names are extracted to sit in the Assembly. But Justice Winston Anderson said a proposition would go against constitutional provisions. Justice Andrew Burgess put forward the argument that the parliamentary secretaries in this case may be akin to a junior minister, except that they do not have certain powers in the National Assembly, while Justice Jamadar advanced the position that the appointments of the two as parliamentary secretaries, although they do not have voting powers, they have a voice, which would give the government some advantage. Senior Counsel Roy Zilford, who is representing Christopher Jones, who had initially challenged the appointment of Brown and Ramkisoon, described the submissions by Mr. Mendez as bizarre and ridiculous, and noted that Article 232 prevents both Brown and Ramkisoon from sitting in the House. He argued that the ruling of the earlier courts maintained a long-standing practice, and also pointed out that if the CCJ reverses the decision, then there could be some constitutional difficulties going forward. But even so, Judge Jamadar and CCJ President Adrian Saunders were most interested to know which articles in the Constitution expressly disqualifies Brown and Ramkisoon from sitting in the House as parliamentary secretaries.
You see, what you're doing and what, with respect to the judgment of Mr. Justice Chang does, is to disqualify from 186 persons who are on a list but have not been extracted. And I'm trying to find the source of that disqualification. Which article of the Constitution disqualifies them from becoming parliamentary secretaries? They're disqualified from voting in the National Assembly. And the Constitution specifically says so. But which article disqualifies them from eligibility to becoming parliamentary secretary.
Both the Guyana Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court had based their ruling on a previous ruling by former Chief Justice Acting Ian Chang in the Morian case, where he had ruled that persons who were on the list of candidates but not extracted were considered to be elected members of the National Assembly. Chief Justice George had found that in accordance with the Morian case, the appointments of Ramkissoon and Brown and their membership of the National Assembly were unlawful, and she ordered the Speaker to prevent them from sitting in or participating in the business of the House. The appeal court had later affirmed that ruling.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Monster, bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster, grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Forty-year-old GDF Corporal Edward McCalmont and 24-year-old Lance Corporal John Johnson were marched before the Georgetown Magistrates Court this afternoon to face drug trafficking charges. The two were charged in connection with the discovery of 316 pounds of marijuana in a minibus that is owned by Corporal McCalmont. The two GDF ranks were nabbed by the police along Mandela Avenue during a Saturday night operation that the police said was intelligence-led. In court today, both men pleaded not guilty to the drug trafficking charges, and they were both remanded to jail. In an earlier statement, the Guyana Police Force explained that at the time of the bust, GDF Corporal McCalmont and Lance Corporal Johnson were dressed in their military uniforms. After a large quantity of marijuana was discovered, they were both told of the offense of drug possession for the purpose of trafficking and arrested by the police. Just last week, non-commissioned officers, Staff Sergeant Adisa Higgins and Sergeant Clovis Sam were nabbed with 154 pounds of marijuana in a GDF vehicle at Land of Canaan on the east bank of the Marara. They were also charged and remanded to jail. Police investigators have traveled to the interior mining district of Quartz Zone Bagdam in Cayuni to probe the brutal murder of a Venezuelan woman who was a sex worker in the area. The dead woman was identified as 26-year-old Mira Carmen Rodriguez Serrano. She was found choked to death in a mining camp. A 25-year-old man from the same Cuyana community has since been arrested as a suspect in the matter. A police report of the incident stated that the woman and the suspect were seen during the early hours of Monday morning at a shop enjoying alcoholic drinks. The two reportedly left the shop together and went to the woman's room. They were later seen back at the shop partying, but eventually left again for the woman's room. The shop owner told investigators that he later heard noises coming from the woman's room, but retired to his room after believing the two were engaged in sexual activities. The man said he decided to check the woman's room after sunrise on Monday morning and found her body. He said he raised an alarm and together with other persons, arrangements were made to transfer the woman for medical attention. However, she was already dead. The suspect was arrested on Monday night and reportedly admitted to the investigators that he choked the woman during their sexual encounter, leaving her unconscious on the floor. The 25-year-old suspect remains in custody as the investigations are ongoing.
Hey Guyana, are you ready for an African explosion of culture as the African Culture and Development Association ACDA hosts Emancipation Festival 2024, featuring premier cultural acts from top Guyanese groups, South America, the Caribbean, and around the world. Come, let's celebrate the culture of our forefathers with African food, history, fashion, innovation at Guyana's biggest cultural festival. August 1st in the National Park. Gates open at 10 a.m. See you there. Around Bay, we all pull together.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Another car, or is it a house?
If you're looking for sweetness to put inside a basket, I am the whole thinking market.
Get ready for the 3rd edition of Blankets and Baskets on August 4, 2024. The Maltino's ground comes alive with Guyana's best entertainers and a vibe that can't be matched. Come for a chance to win numerous prizes, including the grand prize of a... Tickets are $6,000 with other special luxury packages from $40,000 to $120,000. It's the Blankets and Baskets Extravaganza. For more information, check out Blankets and Baskets on Facebook.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
NYC, New York City. Get ready as the original Big People Party with the same vibes you've seen and loved comes to you this Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August 31st with some of the biggest one-man bands out of Guyana and New York. Look out for Super A, Murphy, Busta, and Super Terry. Big People Party! Along with the legendary Glenn Washington.
Baby, don't take my kindness for weakness. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right.
Glenn Washington and his band at Industry City, New York City. Get your super early bird general tickets at $40 and VIP access $150 all inclusive. And all are available at hjexperience.com. This event is brought to you by Hits and Jabs Entertainment, Marvelous Entertainment, and GD Events. It's the original Big People Party at Industry City, New York City on Saturday, August 31st. The big and proper edition.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Protesters took to streets throughout Venezuela on Tuesday, waving flags and demanding President Nicolas Maduro acknowledge he lost Sunday's election to an opposition that says they clinched a landslide victory. Reuters in a report said the protests, which the government denounced as an attempted coup, began after the election board declared on Monday that Maduro had won a third term with 51% of votes. The opposition board, which considers the election body to be in the pocket of a dictatorial government, says 80% of vote tallies to which it has access shows its candidate, Edmundo Gonzalez, had more than twice as many votes as Maduro. The renewed instability brought divided international reaction. The United States said it was considering fresh sanctions on individuals linked to the election unless there was greater transparency about the vote, while China and Russia congratulated Maduro. As well as new sanctions, Maduro's move could spur yet more migration from a country that has shed a third of its population in recent years. Let's tell you now that Copa Airlines said on Tuesday that Venezuela has decided to temporarily suspend all commercial flights between Panama and Venezuela beginning on Wednesday evening. The Panamanian airline said the suspension will start at 8 p.m. Venezuelan time and apologized to its clients for any inconvenience caused by the decision. Venezuela's transportation ministry had said in a statement that it will suspend flights from and to Panama and also the Dominican Republic temporarily due to their government's interference in Venezuelan affairs. The Transportation Ministry claimed the decision was taken under the presumption of the use of civil aviation for purposes not compatible with safety principles. Panama and the Dominican Republic were among the countries that have asked for a complete review involving independent observers of Sunday's presidential election in Venezuela. Venezuela announced on Monday it would withdraw its diplomatic personnel from 7 countries in Latin America, including Panama and the Dominican Republic. And finally tonight, international news. The new acting head of the U.S. Secret Service said he lost sleep over security failures that led to the attempted assassination of Donald Trump during a testy congressional hearing on Tuesday. According to the BBC, at an hours-long U.S. Senate hearing, Ronald Rowe and FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate outlined the ongoing investigation into what led to the shooting, elements of what they have learned about the would-be assassin, and the security failures that allowed the gunman to fire at the former president. Mr. Rowe's testimony before a joint panel of the Senate Homeland Security and Judiciary Committees comes a week after his predecessor was forced to resign. The former Secret Service head faced intense criticism for the Secret Service's handling of the July 13 rally in Butler that left a man dead and Trump and 2 others injured, and her inability to answer questions before the House Oversight Committee last week was ridiculed by Democrats and Republicans. The 2 men's answers at Tuesday's hearing were more substantive than what was heard previously, and Mr. Rowe attempted to reassure senators with new plans to address security lapses. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.